It is good to be with you on another episode of Service to Humanity, a sponsored program of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Towards improving performance of one of the categories under the National Social Investment Program, the Ministry recently organized a 3-day training for program managers and master trainers of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP 2.0. This episode of the program shall highlight this training. We shall also bring you details of a 3-day management training held for management staff of the NSIP. In another story, we shall take you to Kaduna, where our crew met with the beneficiary of the Mobile Money Program, another part of the National Social Investment Program, as we measure the impact of the program on the livelihoods of beneficiaries. I am Habiba Zakzak, your anchor, asking you to stay tuned for details of these stories. I'll be back shortly.
Is key to helping young Nigerians acquire and develop.
The federal government of Nigeria remains committed to including and protecting persons with disabilities to guarantee that no one is left behind.
I see that we are going through challenging times, and I see this woman running all about the country trying to help our people, because this lady is doing a very good job for our country.
Thank you.
Thank you for all what you have been doing for us.
We begin with the Management Diary, where we bring you news and current happenings in the ministry and her agencies. In the news, Humanitarian Ministry holds a 3-day training for management of NSIP. This and other stories coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Performance is measured at the individual level.
A 3-day training for management of the National Social Investment Program (NSIP) has been organized by the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The objectives and expected outcomes of the training are to build leadership capacity towards initiation and actualization of performance-driven change in organizations, to develop strategic competences to manage emerging challenges in the course of the organization's transition to improved performance. In his remark, National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, Engineer Umar Binder, speaks to participants on the importance of their jobs and relevance of the training.
This training is an attempt to energize you to unleash the experiences of the past as we used to implement the NSIP from 2016 to now, so that knowledge of what we have learned then, put together with this training, we should be able to do better.
Areas participants received training include understanding determinants of performance in organizations, measuring performance at different levels in organizations, introduction to coaching and mentoring, distinguishing between leadership and management, amongst others. Lead facilitator of the training, Professor Munira Habib, speaks on the training and its relevance.
This program is necessary to enhance, to build capacity, leadership capacity for the personnel, for the drivers, for the participants of the National Social Insurance Investment Program. This is a program that has been put in place by Mr. President to assist in accomplishing the sustainable development goals, objectives. Poverty alleviation is one of it, and is key, and it's been put in place to lead to the attainment of this laudable objective.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development will empower roughly 30 families in need in honor of International Families Day. According to the Ministry's Deputy Director of Information, Rhoda Ilya, in a statement, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadia Umar Farouk, said the gift is part of an effort to improve the lives of families in the country. She also emphasizes that the ministry's mandate is to raise the standard of living and improve the quality of life of families, the poor and vulnerable in society. The minister encourages Nigerian families to maintain constant vigilance and pray for an end to the country's and displaced communities' current security issues. She also encourages parents to keep an eye on their children and wards' actions in order to prevent the recruitment and use of children and youths in crimes against humanity.
Welcome back. The federal government, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, has continued to lift poor and vulnerable Nigerians out of poverty. So far, over 10 million Nigerians have been lifted out of poverty, and the federal government is not relenting in its effort to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by the year 2030. One of the tools for poverty reduction is the National Social Investment Program. Under the NSIP is the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, through which the federal government will soon disburse loans to various categories of Nigerians. To ensure that this phase of the GEEP, which is called GEEP 2.0, is hitch-free, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development organized a 3-day training for program managers and master trainers. Let's take the stories of how the training went.
The Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program GEEP, one of the 4 components of the National Social Investment Program NSIP, is a loan scheme designed by the federal government of Nigeria to provide financial inclusion and give credit access to poor and vulnerable individuals, including persons with disabilities, PWDs, and persons at the bottom of the economic pyramid who are involved in small-scale commercial activities.
This package was deliberately designed to ensure that we give opportunity to women in the markets, to traders, to small-scale farmers, including, again, young people, both girls and boys. But that package, for the first time in the history of this country, where we have a government credit package that has no collateral and no interest rate, is just going straight jacketed as principal to principal. And this again is expected to very easily encourage these market women, young people, traders to be economically inclusive so that they also have bank accounts, they are trading, they are creating wealth, and they are employing other people.
The federal government of Nigeria established the NSIP programs.
In order to rejig the efforts to meet the objectives of the GEEP program, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development held an advanced training on digitization and registration for program managers and master trainers. The event, which held in Abuja, had in attendance the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk, who was ably represented by the National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program. Also present were the team lead of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program GEEP, Zainab Musawa, stakeholders, program managers, and master trainers. Speaking at the event on behalf of the Humanitarian Minister Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk, National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program NSIP, Engineer Umar Bindil, challenged participants to ensure effective execution of their duties in order to achieve the aims and objectives of the GEEP program.
You have the great-grandfather who was poor, who has never seen tap water in his life, never seen an electricity switch, and he died at the age of 94. Never seen these things. He left something like, because there's no control, 8 children or 10, all of them poor, never seen electricity and water. Some are alive, some have died. Out of those 9 children, they have had something like 20 or 30 great-grandchildren or whatever. They are running around in the villages without shoes. They have only one dress. they eat the same food, they grew up with big tummy like this, they climb palm tree with their feet. You tend to wonder how. Poverty has cascaded. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. And then you are expected to work at this generation to solve the problem.
The 3-day training was categorized into 3 distinct parts. Introduction, which covers introduction of GEEP 2.0, journey so far, achievements and presentations by partners and stakeholders. Digitization in action, comprising the new GEEP registration policy, enumeration process and procedures, dashboard presentation, digitization value, upgrade from manual to digital registration, among others, and digital ethics and decision making, comprising importance of good working relationship, collaborative partnership, state structure, introducing GEEP tablets, data protection policy, ethical reasoning and moral decision making.
We want to empower people that already have.
Leading the first segment of the training, which was the introduction on the GEEP, team lead of GEEP, Zainab Musawa, gave a background of the program, journey so far, and the programs as well as its aims and objectives.
So the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program was designed to give access to credit for vulnerable people who are at the bottom of the economic pyramid. And the target beneficiary will be people who are already engaged, who have skills. We don't want to just identify a beggar. We want to empower people that already have skills, because the ministry didn't make provision for capacity building. So what we're trying to do is the bricklayer that just needs a little amount, or the youth who is an orphan, who needs to buy a barbing set to start a barbing business in that community. Those are the target groups that we intend to empower.
Musa further revealed to participants the target citizens under the GEEP program.
But for the people, for the purpose of the GEEP program, we're trying to target the people that have that skill. Who is that young girl that is a divorcee, that was divorced at the age of 15, that was married off at the age of 13, or her husband died? Who is the ladies you see at the IDP camps that have no husbands, but they have children? These are the groups that we're trying to target to empower for the GEEP program.
Other facilitators of the training were from the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Access Bank, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. At the end of the training, participants were broken into 6 groups to represent each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Each group was then asked some set of questions aiming at getting them to tell how they intend to work together in the field, and they were given 3 minutes each to respond. At the close of the training, participants were issued with certificates of attendance. We interacted with the National Coordinator of the NSIP, Engineer Umar Binder, who represented the Humanitarian Minister, and these were his words on the training.
The aim of the training is to bring everybody to reduce friction between institutions. Here we have National Orientation Agency, we have the government representative, the political heads in the states, also the civil servants in the state. And our experience in the past is that people are flexing for who is in control, who is not in control. So this training program has attempted to break the barriers and create them into a team, a formidable team for success. And we believe that we have achieved this objective. Now is to go to the field and be able to deliver these loans and ensure the people succeed to pay the loans successfully.
He further speaks on the impact of the training on the agenda of uplifting the poor and vulnerable out of poverty.
The GEEP is about transmitting microcredit to the poor and vulnerable, and we expect them to pay for more people to benefit. So for them to pay, to be able to repay, they have to be successful. So this team here are the people who will go to the states, deliver these loans, and also ensure that these people work hard to repay so that we can actually sustain the program. And therefore, this training is successful. It is going to impact on the program successfully, and we hope by implication successfully we will continue to address the issues of poverty in our country.
Participants also speak on the training.
What I was expecting was exactly what I saw, because we expected that most of the things should be practical sessions, and that is what we are seeing, because when you go to the field, it's practical, it's not theory, but this is what we are going through. This is what we are being taught now, the practical aspect. So by the time we go down to step it down for the commons, it's going to be easier for us.
We are looking forward to do more of this interactive session, so that we are going to, each state is going to showcase its own experiences and predicament.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones,
Use this money for what it is meant for, efficiently to take care of their family.
in 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bound.
And the government very well because they did work for us.
It helped me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development initiated the Mobile Money Agent component under the National Social Investment Program. The program gave opportunities to unemployed youths to be trained and equipped to provide mobile money agents to Nigerians. In our next segment, as we review the objectives of the Mobile Money Agents Program, we will bring you the testimony of a beneficiary of the Mobile Money Program from Kaduna, who went from working under someone to being his own boss. Keep watching.
I truly appreciate the government of Nigeria for giving us this opportunity.
A total of 1,850 unemployed Nigerians were targeted during the commencement of the Mobile Money Agents training. The objectives of the training include 2. Train beneficiaries to have the minimum technical and business requirements for becoming mobile money agents. Promote financial inclusion by increasing access of unserved Nigerians to financial services, and enhance integration of NSIP by enabling target beneficiaries to join the network of agents providing financial related services under other components of NSIP. After the training, each beneficiary was provided with point-of-sale machine, fingerprint scanner, plastic chair and outdoor umbrella, sponge finger money dampener, set of hardcover 140 leaves notebook, and start-up capital of 20,000 naira.
To sun bamu POS ne suka bamu tebur da kujeru.
Jamilu Sanusi Dambirni is one of the beneficiaries of the Mobile Money Agents program. Holds a higher national diploma in chemical engineering from Kaduna Polytechnic. Like a lot of youths out there, Jamilu graduated from school but was unable to secure a job to help him pay his bills and that of his family. He tells us what he had to do to take care of himself.
Before ina zama a shagon wani.
I used to work under someone as a phone repairer. From there, I would get small change to live on from little repairs for customers. But this mobile money business has helped me to become self-employed.
Today, Jamilu is a beneficiary of the Mobile Money Agent program. He shares with us how the journey started for him.
I have a friend called Shehu Ahmed, who is more like a big brother to me. He was the person that introduced me to the program. He collected my details and we filled the application together online. Not long after that, I received a text message of invitation to participate in the Mobile Money Agents program. So I called my friend Shehu and notified him about the message. He then confirmed it was for the program I applied for. Upon receiving that confirmation, I proceeded to Abuja for the training And when I arrived, I realized it was really the program I applied for.
Sai da na tafi Abuja, saboda sannan na ga shi program da muka apply ne before that. Shi ne aka bi na samu na je na zama beneficiaries.
Jamilu tells us how the training went and the duration.
Min training din 3 days muka yi.
The training lasted for 3 days and it was all about mobile money services and entrepreneurship. After we finished, we all left to kick off the business.
3 days, sannan kuma suka sallame mu muka kamo hanya muka dawo muka fara amfani da shi.
After the training, Jamilu was empowered to commence work with the items he needed and 20,000 naira startup capital.
So ni kuma na already, alhamdulillah.
Even before the opportunity was available, I was interested in the mobile money agent business, even though I had never done it before. Thankfully, the federal government availed the opportunity by training us and giving us equipment and funds needed to start the business. I started with the funds the federal government gave to me, and within a very short period of time, I made more money to expand the business from being under the umbrella to this container.
I just built a container from there.
According to Jamilu, even though he harbored the desire to become a mobile money agent before the intervention of the program, he had no money to start with. He shares how the mobile money business has helped to empower him and change his life.
Thank to Allah.
This business has really helped me and I'm grateful to the federal government for the opportunity. Once upon a time, a company offered us the same business opportunity, but they were asking for 65,000 naira, which I did not have at that time. But fortunately for me, I got the offer from the federal government in the same month, and of course, it was free.
Jamilu shares with us progress he had made since taking off in the business about 6 months ago and the future plans he has.
Na maka yana alƙawari from the days da na fara wannan business in cewa Allah da ba zan yi shekara ɗaya a container ba.
I promised myself from the very first day I kickstarted this business that I would move into a proper shop in a building within a year because I started under the umbrella the federal government gave me. I paid for this container in less than 2 months and I continue to plan to move into a proper building for the safety of my items and to prove to my customers there is growth in the business so as to win their trust. I am done with school, so I am not worried whether a job would come or not. If I get a job, fine. And if I don't, this business would surely continue to sustain me and my family.
He calls on youths who have doubt about the realness of the program to believe in it and seize the opportunity.
Saboda gaskiya ni dai am beneficiaries din za su gani ni na benefiting from the program from federal government.
As everyone can see, I am a beneficiary of the program. And the truth is that I only applied for it casually without expecting to get shortlisted. All those doubting the program should believe it from now on, because I am assuring them as a beneficiary that it is real. Whenever you see or hear about such intervention programs by the federal government, take advantage of it and apply. You do not need connection to get shortlisted.
Sai ka koma kai addu'a kai apply naka aiki ba sai kai ka samu wani connection from other NSIP ba.
And it is on that note we end this episode of Service to Humanity. Until I come your way again next week, stay safe. Don't forget to send in questions and suggestions to any of our social media platforms or drop a message on the ministry's page on Facebook or Twitter. See you next week.